Hello my beautiful fragrance family, Dustin here, Fragrance Fan. Go ahead and do me a solid and click that like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell notification, and I'm just going to keep on giving you guys these budget-friendly fragrance reviews, that $40-ish and $100 range, and most of these are way less than that. A good number of these you can find at your local rag stores, including the one I got for you today. I picked it up, I got a lot from this house, so I almost felt obligated to pick it up, and without further ado, let's jump into English Laundry's Royal Forest. Standard English Laundry presentation. I know some of them are looking a little bit different. Some of the new ones, like I think it's Castle and Charmer and stuff, but this has that real dark, like turquoise and gold. It's really pretty color. Found this one for $14.99 at TJ Maxx. Atomizer itself, it's a fairly good atomizer. This one is hard to find things on. There's not a whole lot of stuff on this one, perhaps because it's so new, but from what I looked up, it's got stuff like bergamot, I think there's lemon and grapefruit up in the top, I think there's like orange blossom, and there's sandalwood, amber, and honey and stuff like that in it. But overall, with this, it didn't smell anything like I thought it was going to when I seen the bottle and I seen the name. I was expecting some kind of like balsamic, like pine tree or something, but there's none of that going on in here whatsoever. This is more like a cross between, I would say, Invictus and like 1 Million Lucky or something like that. And so it's got a touch of freshness and a lot of that sweetness. It's a bit creamy. The citrus is there, making it a little bit bright up top, but it holds on to a lot of sweetness, a lot of like amber. The honey is real smooth, real smooth honey. It's not like a dominant honey, but you can tell that it's not just an amber sweetness. You can detect honey in there. Extra little bit of sweetness with all that citrus around it, kind of giving it that like Invictus kind of a vibe without any aquatic notes in this thing. It's got a touch of spiciness and green, just a little bit. It's to me it's a fresh spicy, just a little bit. It's not real warm. It's like Invictus being a little bit more appropriate for cooler weather. Not cold, but a little bit cooler, like early days of spring and fall. That kind of scent profile. So it smells good. It's a nice smelling fragrance. The longevity on me so far is just not really going too strong. Let's just put it that way. I'm not really getting much more than like 3 or 4 hours out of it. I think it's kind of reeling way back and turning into a skin scent almost after like 45 minutes, which is kind of disappointing, and a lot of these English laundries are starting to do that, which stinks because a lot of them smell really good. This one is no exception. It's a good smelling fragrance. For the price point, it's a nice fragrance. It's not, you're not wasting your money, but it's not a super unique smelling fragrance. You've smelled stuff like this before. When you spray it, it's going to be familiar. English Laundry does a lot of dupes of fragrances, like London is like Acreta Ventus, stuff like that. Oxford Blue is Versace Eros, and so on and so forth. And I think they were kind of leaning towards, I'm not sure, like, it doesn't smell exactly like anything, but it's almost like a hybrid, like I said, between like Invictus and like 1 Million Lucky, or 1 Million Lucky and Invictus. It's like they're jumbled up together somehow in this. That's kind of what I'm getting. It took me a while to kind of figure out what this thing reminds me of, and I'm getting bits and pieces of both of those added into this. So overall, my rating on this one, I'll give it a 5 because it smells good, but the performance isn't all that good. It's good for the cooler weather. It's very youthful. Any age can enjoy this, but this is a very youthful fragrance, crowd pleasing, compliment kind of a fragrance. This thing will probably garnish some compliments as long as it's projecting heavy enough for somebody to smell it. And it's not incredibly synthetic, so it's not like too bad. It has a little bit of character. It lands not so flat. You can pick stuff out. You can feel it morph and transition, whereas the the citrus up top, the sparkly citrus, starts to dissipate later on in the dry down, and it gets a little bit creamier and sweeter and smoother. So it's got good characteristics of a more expensive fragrance, but it's just the performance isn't all that great on this thing. And I think a lot of the creaminess that's in this is coming from like the orange blossom and the sandalwood. I'm gonna spray it again. I do like the way it smells. It smells really good. Yeah, it's a really good smelling fragrance. Nothing, I mean, there's a very small amount of greenness in this thing, if any at all. So very misleading presentation. Whereas, like I said, this is a sweet, creamy, bright up top at first, a little bit of citrus up top at first, like Invictus and stuff, and then it morphs a little bit more into like the Lucky and 1 Million Lucky side of things, while maintaining some of that crowd pleasing, compliment pulling, Invictus style DNA. So if you like both those fragrances, you'll like this. If you like sweet fragrances, you'll like this, because it's a bit on the sweet side. But yeah, it's overall, it's a nice smelling fragrance, but it's nothing wowed about to me. It's nothing you need to go searching for or anything like that. But overall, it's decent smelling. And yeah, I'll be wearing it and stuff. Just, it might get lost in my collection a little bit, but I'll be wearing it for sure, because I enjoy the way that it smells. And so with that, that's my final thoughts on English Laundry's Royal Forest. So with that, I'm out. Y'all be blessed. Take care of yourself always. And until next time.